Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. I'm back with another journal with me video, and today we're starting with my November calendar that I made. I know you're like, Cherie, you said you were going to talk about what you read in October. I'll get into that more in a second, but for this calendar, I loved this photo I found. It's not a real photo. This art I found of Hello Kitty's family. I think it is so cute. And you know, Thanksgiving is in November and some people gather with their families. I thought the colors in it were just perfect, and I added some stars to the background. I don't know why the striped background, I guess that's what, like, their living room. It just looked a little plain, so I added some stars to it. I have a lot of fall themed Sanrio items that I definitely will not get to before the month of November is over. Even though fall's not over until December, like, I feel like it's kind of over in November. So I wanted to use this little artwork of Hello Kitty as well. I love the colors in it. I wanted it to look very autumnal. I did the thing I should not have done, and I just started making this calendar without even checking to see like what dates anything was happening on. I was just like, I'm making it how I want it to look. Like, if something happens on this day, like, it's just gonna have to not be on the calendar. By the time you're watching this, I feel like November is almost already over anyway, which is unfortunate. Oh, I was going to tell you why this video is not everything I read in October. Girl, it's because I didn't read that much in October. Like, Halloween came and I thought I was going to spend all day on Halloween just reading. That is not what happened. That's not what happened at all. I think I got kind of caught up coloring, and then I don't know, the days just go by so quickly for me. So everything I thought I would read in October, I actually have ended up reading this month in November. So I only have one reading journal spread from October left to show you, which is going to be at the end of this video. In a way though, I guess I'm glad, because I feel crazy like still showing you like Halloween things. November has gone by really quickly for me. I've been making some fall themed spreads, which I think are really cute, but unfortunately they're not going to be in any videos. I will show them to you at the end of this video, of course, in my journals, but yeah, I did not screen record them at all. I was like, there's no way. I already had so much screen recording just like in between my last video and this video. I was like, I cannot add any more. That's actually something I have to start thinking about, is replacing my iPad. It's not at the point where it needs to be replaced immediately, but I just feel like there's no way it's going to make it through 2025 into 2026. Like, I definitely think, which I guess it's going to be 5 years old next year. So maybe it's time to replace it. I just hate that. I hate the idea of having to replace something that works perfectly fine. It's just running out of space. Like, that's it. Other than that, it works perfectly fine. But anyway, how has your November been going? It's gotten very cold here, which is sad. I mean, it's good. I feel like November should not be warm. Like, that's a sign that our planet is dying. But still, I'm sad that it's not like a comfortable temperature anymore. Also, a few days ago, I burned myself. I feel like it's kind of like an ADHD injury, honestly, because I turned on the stove and I forgot that I had turned on the stove, and I was looking at it and I was like, doesn't the little burner look a little crooked? And so I reached out with my hand and put my fingertips down on the hot stove. I feel like it's definitely got to be up there with one of the dumbest things I've ever done, for sure. I'm okay though. And also, it was my left hand and it was only 2 fingers. So I feel like I'm definitely like better off than I could have been. It could have been really bad. What if it was my whole hand? Oh, I almost forgot to say that the stars on this calendar, I saw them in a tweet, so I will find that tweet again and link it in the description box. I've been seeing a lot of confetti things like this recently. I can't remember if I retweeted this one or not. I think it added such a cute pop of color. I really like how this calendar turned out. The next spread I'm making is also for my archive journal, and this is the spread I made for Jaehyun going to the military. I still can't believe it. Like, as you're watching this, I feel like he's already been there for like 3 weeks, probably, maybe. I'm not even sure. The photo he sent of him with his head shaved and the stylist dyeing it back black, oh my god. That's when it really set in for me. I was like, whoa, like that's all of his hair gone. I feel like so far I've been fine, because even though it has settled in, like, okay, he's gone to the military, it also hasn't, because it's like, I haven't really seen NCT 127 without him, or just like NCT in general without him. I think when NCT 127 goes on their tour, like, that's when it'll really be like, whoa, like, he's gone. I don't go to concerts, but I'm so fascinated by what a concert without Taeyong and Jaehyun would be like, because Jaehyun has been the one covering Taeyong's lines for a lot of their songs, so now I'm so fascinated. For this spread, I knew I wanted to use something that had some kind of like phone element to it. Like I wish I had another memo sheet that was kind of like that panda phone that I've used in my spreads before, but I found this one and I love it. I really wanted to use something like this because of all the like sweet messages that he had sent before leaving. I knew I wanted to include screenshots of some of the stuff that he had said. I also really wanted to add a photo into the spread, but it just like did not work out. There just wasn't space for it. There were just too many cute things that I wanted to use. Like I definitely wanted to use that pom-pom pudding art, the little pudding like that. I feel like that's so cute. And also I really needed to use that too because it has some orange in it and I wanted to use that orange polka dot background. Like everything just kind of had a place in this spread and I knew I couldn't fit a photo as well. Also, I always have the TV on in the background when I'm recording my videos because I'm usually watching Food Network, and I just saw a commercial for the new Harry Potter baking show that came on. If you have access to Food Network, oh my gosh, please watch the new Harry Potter baking show. It is so good. Well, maybe I shouldn't be like singing its praises too much because I've only seen one episode so far. So what I have seen up until this point has been really good, but I don't know, maybe it'll get worse. The way the contestants arrived was like through this big doorway and it was like supposed to be the Flu Network. I was like, that's so fun. Also, when I was watching that show, there was a commercial for whatever's going on in Universal in Orlando. They're going to have like a whole brand new world or something like that. And it's like a bunch of different, like, I don't know, portals or something like that into the other lands. I don't know. I don't know what it is. But they're going to have a Ministry of Magic. I was like, what? And also the land from How to Train Your Dragon. What's it called? Burke? Something like that. My best friend and I used to be obsessed with trying to find the How to Talk Like a Pirate book and the How to Train Your Dragon series. We could never find it. Our library did not have it and we really wanted to read it. I've never been to any fancy theme park like that. Like I've never been to Universal. I've never been to Disney World, anything like that. I remember when I graduated from high school, my best friend went to Universal Studios with somebody, I don't know. And she was like talking about the Harry Potter part. She was like, you would have loved it. And I was like, yeah, I'm sure, like seething. My best friend is not like a reader. She's never been into any kind of like fandoms like that or anything like that. We are very different people, but we're also the same person. It's kind of hard to explain. But at the time, I was just mad. I was like, I wanna go. I'm not even really into Harry Potter like that at all, but I used to love it when I was younger. So at the time, I just felt like, how come I don't get to go and experience the Harry Potter worlds? I'm supposed to be talking about Jaehyun and how much I miss him, but instead I had to start talking about Harry Potter. Oh, but there is kind of an intersection because at one of his fan signs, was it last month? The month before? I don't know. But he had on a Slytherin robe. And obviously his hair was blonde at the time. I literally paused because I saw the photo on, not Twitter, on Pinterest. And I was like, whoa, like I had to just stop and stare at it for a long minute. This spread is actually really happy. I feel like and colorful in comparison to the fact that Jaehyun has been snatched from me. But I do really love how it turned out. The next spread is also for my archive journal again. And it's about Winwin being in Vogue China. The reason I decided to make this spread is because usually at my library, not my physical library, but like online, so Libby, I can find a lot of Korean magazines. If you are American and you have a library card, definitely download Libby because seriously, there's everything. Like Libby has everything. I just go to the magazine section and then filter by languages. So they don't have every single possible Korean fashion beauty magazine, of course, but they have a lot of the major ones. So usually if any idol I like is in a magazine, I can find it and I can flip through the pages. Unfortunately, it is not the same with Chinese magazines. Whenever I sort through like the Chinese language filter, they'll have things from Taiwan and also Hong Kong, but not necessarily mainland China. So anytime Winwin has been in any kind of magazine feature, I have not gotten to see it with my own two eyes. But I was like, they have to have Vogue China. Like Vogue is obviously one of the biggest magazines. Like they have to have just the regular mainland China Vogue. So I saw the November issue and I was flipping through it and I was like, where's Winwin? Where's Winwin? I don't know. Maybe this isn't the issue he was in. And I'm seeing like Tilda Swinton and Julianne Moore together. I'm seeing Margot Robbie. Like I'm seeing all these gigantic celebrities. And then towards the end of the magazine, there was a little section called Men We Love. And who was there? Winwin, of course. So I had to take some screenshots and I was like, you know what? If this were like an actual real magazine and I don't know, I guess I would rip the pages out of it, right? So I was like, why don't I just do that for a digital journal spread? As you can see, I used some frame letters. I've never used these before, but this was so fun. I feel like these would be really good for like the beginnings of a journal, you know what I mean? Like an about me page or like an introduction page to your journal, something like that. I feel like they're just so big and bold and I loved like switching around all the different wallpapers I was using until I found like the combination that I liked the best. Also, I'm sure you saw I used this oval frame that kind of had like a paper texture to it, but I put one of those confetti things that I found on Twitter. I think this is actually a separate one I found on Twitter. I think I used two different ones. I'll link them both in the description box, of course. And I put that in the frame, and I wasn't sure how it would turn out, but I absolutely love that effect. It looks so cool. It almost looks like mesh or something to me. Like, I just love the effect that it gave. Like that in combination with all the letters, the frames, I just love it. Also, I'm really hoping you can't hear, but my neighbor's son is outside and I just hear this ball bouncing. I guess he's playing basketball. I'm about to look out the window in a second and see. I actually don't even think it's him. I think it's one of his friends. I think he's sitting in his car and his friend is out there bouncing the ball. I'm gonna need him to stop. Actually, something so crazy happened last weekend with my neighbors. I don't think I have time to tell you about it, but basically my nosy neighbor, the one that was mowing the grass really loudly in the background of my video that one time, she saw these kids riding their bikes and they were like going up to our garage door and like, I don't know what they were doing, like kicking it. I don't know if it was just like this gigantic, really loud noise. And she saw them do it. And so she posted about it on that Nextdoor app, which I feel like should not even exist. I do not believe in surveilling your neighbors. I don't believe in surveillance culture in general. And the thing is, it did not happen at her house. It happened at our house. And she was like saying like what happened and everything. And she like said, like the races of all the children. And she said someone like responded to her like, why are you bringing race into this, huh? And I was like, ooh, get her. It was just this whole big deal for no reason. My mom was mad because she was like, why doesn't she just let it go? Like, this isn't even her house. And I was like, right, it didn't even happen at her house. But anyway, I'm finished with this spread. I think it turned out so cute. I love this so much. I really want to make more kind of scrapbook spreads like this anytime I come across anything cute in a magazine. I feel like this was such a good idea. My final spread in today's video is for the BL manhwa Halloween is Nothing Special. I think it's also called something else. I can't remember now. I'll put the title on the screen. Or maybe I'll just take a screenshot of manga updates. I read this on Halloween. I was so happy to find another Halloween themed BL to read. I actually really enjoy this author's other work. It's currently ongoing. It's called Happy Merry Ending. And that kind of seems like it's Christmassy, but it's not quite. I feel like it's kind of set at that time, but not really. And anyway, because I like that author's story, I felt sure that I would like this one too. And I was right. It's a really short manhwa. It's 5 chapters. It's about a man who goes out on Halloween one night and he bumps into this other guy and they start a friendship and then start a relationship. And his boyfriend insists that they go out on every Halloween night, that they dress up and go have fun. Well, one Halloween, he's on the phone with his boyfriend and his boyfriend tells him he's hurrying, he's on his way. And the main character tells him like, hey, don't ride your bike, just take a taxi. And he's like, I'll be fine. And as I'm sure you can imagine, he was not fine. He gets into an accident and passes away. And now we see our main character in the current day where it's been 3 years, I think, since the accident has happened. And he is just dealing with the grief of that. And then he may or may not get a visit from a very certain ghost. That's kind of like the bare minimum plot. Again, it's a really short manhwa anyway, but it's really more so about the fact that the main character has not been processing his grief fully. This story is set like in our modern world. So his boyfriend's family didn't even know that the two of them were dating, which is just so tragic. So he's kind of just been having to process this grief by himself, and he hasn't really been. He keeps up this schedule, but the schedule is really just like a distraction. He's not actually properly allowing himself to feel sad and feel angry. Of course, he's upset. You know, he told his boyfriend not to ride his bicycle and he did anyway. I thought it was really good. It was such a nice story to read on Halloween because I felt like not only was it festive, but there was actually a plot, even in just 5 short chapters. It was very bittersweet. I really like this author's art style. It is so unique. I'm the kind of person that like, of course I love the really pretty art too, but like, I feel like this is pretty in its own way. It's so unique. I miss that a lot. I feel like a lot of BL manhwas, especially like the really popular ones, they all kind of look alike, which is a shame. I love this. More interesting art, please. I especially love seeing all their different costumes over the years. I thought that was really cute. And also one of the screenshots I took was of that phone because it said Thursday, October 31st, and Halloween was also on a Thursday this year too. Oh, also, I did not make an October reading wrap-up spread, so I thought I would tell you about this other manga I read. It was called Bite Marks and Fluorite, and I read it from my library, and I'm so happy I did because it was so ridiculous. It's the kind of thing that, like, if I would have paid my own money for that, I would have been disappointed. The art was fine, but the story was just so silly. I really did start to make a spread about it, but I just like, I didn't like it. I was making it and I was just like, I don't like this. And I think it's because like I had nothing really to say about the manga itself. So basically this guy sees this other man about to be attacked and he kind of stops it, but he gets attacked in the process. And so he ends up being turned into a vampire to save him, of course, from like the blood loss. And the vampire that turned him is, of course, like a super old vampire. I don't know how old he is. Anytime I read stories like that, I'm just like, how are you 270 years old and you're interested in some man who's like 25? I don't know. It's scary to me. And literally nothing else happens. I mean, of course, apart from them like developing feelings for each other, but nothing else happens other than some strange man approaches the main character and is like, hey, I can help you. I can help like save your souls. He's like a priest or like a fake priest. Either, I don't know what he is. And the male lead kind of just beats him up, and that's pretty much it. Like, there's no real conflict in the story. Like, the main character, of course, is like not sure about becoming a vampire, but like that's it. And I'm pretty sure it's just one volume. Like, I don't think there's any more to the story. Like, that was just it. And the most insane part was there was a scene. I still have the screenshot, I think. I'll put it up on the screen right now. And as you can see, that's the male lead. He's like, you know, licking the blood on his face. Guess where that blood is from? The main character got a nosebleed. Ew. I really feel like everybody else should have to see this since I had to see it too. Ew. Noseblood? Ew. But anyway, I recommend reading Halloween is Nothing Special. There is zero noseblood, just a lot of bittersweet feelings. That is the final spread, like I said, for today's video. So now we can go put all these spreads into my digital journals. I am once again paranoid that my mom is about to come home in literally like seconds. I feel like every video is just like this. But I can't rush this outro because, I mean, it takes some time to put all the journals in my spreads. No, to put all my spreads in my journals. I said that backwards. And also, I think I said this in not my last video, but the one before that. I don't want to speed it up too much because, again, I don't want anyone to get dizzy. Also, I'm kind of getting hungry. I think I'm actually just about to go eat plain bread. Like, it's really, it's really just that kind of morning. I'm trying to think if there was anything else that I wanted to tell all of you. I always feel like I have so many things, and usually I make notes to myself to like mention things, like if there's something, but I made no notes this time for this video. So it's just kind of, what's the phrase? I don't know, like off the top of my head. I really have no business doing screen recordings like this. I feel like my ADHD really makes me forget words. Like something will be on the tip of my tongue and I just like, I cannot say it. I can't remember what the word is. Honestly, just sentences in general. Like I lose my train of thought really easily. I'll start sentences without knowing how they're going to end. Like just really an issue. But anyway, thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope it was fun. I hate that I'm on a time crunch because I feel like I'm rushing and I don't like that. But I really do hope this video was fun. There were only 4 spreads in this video. I feel like usually I try to do at least 5, but that's just kind of how it ended up working out. Like I said, I wanted to show you some of my other spreads that I've made. I really wanted to use up a lot of fall items that I found, similar to my Halloween videos where I was talking about there were so many things that I found on Pinterest that I still wanted to use. I feel like fall is kind of like that too. There are still things that I wanted to use that I probably won't get to. There's still a little bit of fall left, so I'll try to make at least a couple more spreads. There are just so many Sanrio characters and there's so much cute art. Really, I've actually had like kind of a hard time finding wallpapers that I liked for more fall themed spreads. There's a lot of Halloween stuff, but not so much fall. I don't want everything to just be like pumpkins either, you know? But seriously, thank you so much, especially if you made it to the end of the video like this. I don't know how easy it is to listen to me rambling, but thank you so much for doing it anyway. Everything I used in today's spreads will be in my Pinterest board, which is linked in the description box, along with my other social media accounts. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll be happy to answer them. I had a lot of fun hanging out today, as always. I'm really hoping I'll be back again very soon with another video, especially because I didn't even get to talk about Fangs in this video, Fangs Volume 3, and I gotta talk about that. So I'll see you in the next one. Bye, everyone.